Hey, deserving listeners, Love is Blind, let's watch. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. Keep in mind that everything I say is completely speculative based on very little information that they are giving us in the edit. And so let's watch.
Thank you so much for the romance.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So romantic. Holding all the other people together.
I was talking with Garrett about something serious. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We were like, it was
Me?
what?
Come on.
What?
We don't see shit like we hear it.
Okay, so first of all, I mentioned in a previous video that Stacy and I were almost going to stay in this hotel. And one of the major features is this wicker egg thing in the middle of all these pools. From the pictures, I was really curious as to what that was like, and we're getting to see it now. And I am confused what's happening here. It looks like the theme is that the fireworks are going off. Monica went out to see the fireworks with most of everyone else, and Stephen and Garrett were talking about something really intense. Then she came back, Monica came back, and she was hurt and upset, and so she's angry at him. But I'm trying to figure, when she came back, was she being sarcastic? Let's watch.
She finally told me to where it sunk in, where I was like,
That was so romantic. That was so romantic out there.
Yeah, so she comes back and says, that was so romantic. That was so romantic out there. Thank you so much for the romance. Is that sarcasm? Because at first I'm thinking that she thinks that he paid for the fireworks. And so she's like, thank you so much for the gift. And now she is being sarcastic. It's almost never a good idea to be sarcastic when you're upset at your partner. It's childish, it's hurtful, it's not effective communicating. You know, there's a lot of ways to communicate well and constructively, or at the very least, non-destructively, but sarcasm is almost always destructive. So if you're trying to destroy, then sarcasm can be a pretty good way to do that. But if you're actually trying to make things better, then sarcasm isn't the way. But yeah, and if this is sarcasm, this is high-level sarcasm, loud sarcasm. Thank you so much for being romantic with me. And then, and if she was just being silly, and she'd be like, oh yeah, never mind. But then she gets oh boy.
That was so romantic. That was so romantic out there. Thank you so.
And I'm still not sure if this is sarcasm. Stephen doesn't even, if it is sarcasm, Stephen doesn't know it's sarcasm. He's like, oh, okay. But then I think he quickly realizes, oh, this is sarcasm.
So much for the romance.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So romantic. Holding all the other people together.
I was talking with Garrett about something serious. I'm sorry.
Holding all the other people together. Holding all the other people together. I wonder what that means. And he's saying, I'm sorry. I know, my God. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's been a jerk face all day. This is just the first time we're privy to it. And she is reasonably upset at him.
Oh my God. Okay.
We were like, it was
Me?
what?
Come on.
We don't see shit like we hear it.
And yeah, I understand if she would be off kilter because of what he was saying at lunch at the restaurant, where he was pretty clearly saying that he didn't know if he wanted to move forward. And he also was fairly, he put it out there, and then she's like, wait, what? You're second guessing whether or not we're going to get married? He's like, no. You know, I would understand if she were off kilter because of that.
See fireworks all the time, so yeah, we ran. We like, all right.
So I want to say this is when it's done like arguing, because then everything is doing space musical. Yes. Oh my God.
Okay. Then she says, that's why I don't like arguing, because then everything starts to piss me off. I think maybe they had an argument in between off camera, but at the very least, in terms of the edit, she's saying that because they had that love language talk and he said that he might not want to get married, she is admitting that she is potentially overreacting to something now because of that previous conflict. Okay.
But like, but I try not to be hard on myself.
Are you good? You good?
That's playing. Because like,
We're good. I love you. We're good.
I just.
Okay, good on him. I think it definitely would warrant her standing up and walking over to him and talking with him and clearing the air.
I just give him a hard time for not watching the fireworks with me. He's so scared of me.
For you guys.
He's so scared of me. He's so scared of me right now.
Should be.
I'm not fucking around with him anymore.
Yikes. Imagine, now, I don't think, there's no evidence that Monica is being abusive or anything, but imagine having that thought that my partner, the love of my life, my fiance, is scared of me, and that's okay with me. He's so scared of me right now, and I'm not taking any now maybe what she means is he is minding his P's and Q's. Where does that idiom come from? And he is on alert because he knows that he's in trouble, or I don't know.
Thanks, baby.
Sparkling water? So I don't know if you like sparkling water. I'm not a big fan.
But it's okay.
Also, sorry, Garrett was like having a...
Yeah, so now he is trying to clear the air. Anyway, I don't know. Sometimes I worry that I'm on the wrong side of the vibe and everyone's in love with Monica. Because, you know, she has a lot of good qualities for sure. She's certainly not like a Leo or something. So, I don't know. Maybe she'll... So, okay. I hope that Monica says, well, okay, yeah, I get it, and I'm sorry for being sarcastic earlier. I guess I'm just a little off kilter because of what you said earlier today, and we'll talk about it later. Or yeah, you're good, we're okay. I'm just a little irritable, and we'll talk about it later. Or another thing she could say is, yeah, I guess I was just hoping that we would have a little togetherness. I saw the other couples having a moment with the fireworks, and I was standing by myself, and it just kind of hurt. Something like that. Let's see what she says.
It's okay, babe.
I know, but I still wanted to acknowledge that. Sorry, I still wanted to acknowledge that.
You said to me earlier today you were going to make it for the flowers, but it's okay. Taylor and I cuddled each other outside by the fireworks.
Your man and I were having a very, like, serious moment about something.
Yeah. Okay. And if that's a concern, then, you know, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's going pretty good so far. And he's saying he's sorry, and she is being upfront.
Like, then the fireworks happened, and I was like, I like, please finish your thought. I felt like it would have been rude to say, hey, hold on.
Yeah, it's really hard when we have like such limited time and like things happen.
And knowing Garrett and the way that his brain works.
Okay, so Taylor is being triangulated right now. And, of course, Taylor has a lot more loyalty to Monica, so it puts Taylor in kind of a bind. And she responded really well. She didn't say one way or the other. So there's that. Also, he is pulling Taylor in, which on one hand is not recommended. What's Taylor going to do? It's deflecting. But on the other hand, Monica, goes up to him and is sarcastic and then angry and walks away. And then he's like, hey, let's talk about it. So he has to kind of chase her, and she won't say, oh, Taylor, can you give us a second, you know? And so he's forced to resolve a pretty major event where she was really sarcastic and loud sarcastic and walking away angry. And so he's kind of forced to sit down with Taylor being there. And so maybe he's just turning to Taylor and being like, I don't want to be rude, so this is what's happening, I guess. But if I were a birdie on his shoulder, I would say, you've put a bow on it, you've resolved it enough. It's not resolved, but it's enough. And just move on with the party. And then if you feel it necessary, address it, not later tonight after you've drank, but maybe the next day. Now, she's drinking water, so maybe she is trying to watch how much she drinks, which is good. And or she knows that she drank too much at the other party or something. I don't know. I didn't see her intoxicated, but I wonder if she was during that conversation where she was just like, snip it, be quiet.
This situation, there's going to be a time for all of us where, like, if you make it on the show, regardless, like, you're going to eventually have people confronting you. People that know you, that are complete strangers. Like, oh, I know your entire backstory. And for a lot of guys, like, there are women that are homewreckers out there that are like, I don't give a fuck what your situation is.
What is he talking about? I want to suck your dick. What is he talking about? Uh-oh, out of context. What is he talking about? He's talking about the show. Okay, so he's saying that once the show is aired a year from now, a lot of women are going to slide into our DMs and they're going to hit on us. What's his point? I don't understand what's happening. Let's rewind.
This situation, there's going to be a time for all of us where, like, if you make it on the show, regardless, like, you're going to have...
There might have been a preamble into this conversation that would make sense as to why he's talking about. She's rolling her eyes, which I'll point out again is not a great idea. I understand. I do it sometimes when I'm watching the show. Sometimes I'm even sarcastic, which isn't great. There's a place for it, I guess, sometimes. But when you're in a marriage and you're bothered by your partner, sarcasm and rolling your eyes, take it from me as I roll my eyes. In session, it never is helpful to do that. There's so many, you can absolutely be bothered or upset or hurt or angry. That's fine. If she were to say something like, well, I don't know about that, or, oh, you're doing this again. I don't know if you should do this again. Just use your words, not your eye rolls. But anyway, so he's saying there's going to be a moment for all of us. You're going to eventually have people reaching out to you.
Eventually have people confronting you. People that know you, that are complete strangers. Like, oh, I know your entire backstory. And for a lot of guys, like, there are women that are homewreckers out there that are like, I don't give a fuck what your situation is. I want to suck your dick.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
What's happening?
Yeah. So Monica is like, what's happening? How did we get here? Okay, so at least we are in the same boat with Monica, because I was wondering, did we miss some part of the conversation, how we got here? Maybe he'll explain.
We were talking...
How did we get here?
You need to understand where you're deep-rooted at. This is where I'm coming back. Don't worry, I'll feed you, baby bird. I'll bring it home.
Thank you. Are you going to get your dick sucked by a woman?
No. But you will be tempted in a situation that you've never been tempted before because, like, suddenly you have this spotlight on you. And you need to understand where you're at.
Okay, so what I think he's saying is, I think what he's passively communicating, or he's outward processing again, like he might have been doing earlier at lunch, that he is unsure about getting married, and maybe married in general, but particularly married to Monica, which I think all of them would have some questions about. I think Taylor has been explicit about that she's still, that Garrett is still in a probationary period or something, which, it's expected that they're all going to be still waiting and seeing, right? They don't have to commit for a while, and so they're still assessing things out. But he is, I think, saying, and maybe he'll clarify after this, but he is saying that if there's any cracks in the foundation of commitment, then a year from now, when we become famous, people are going to be tempting us, and homewreckers, specifically saying homewreckers, and if there's any cracks in the pavement, then things are going to fall apart. Huh? I mean, yeah, but what point are you making? I think he's trying to make a very weird point. Well, he's trying to make a good point in a very weird way, that everyone needs to be absolutely sure that they want to get married before they say yes at the altar. Just say that. I think that's what he's saying. And I think he's trying to passively say he's not quite sure.
I'll get a French try. I'll be back.
Okay. You need to understand why you're here with this specific person.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm kind of annoyed.
I've been scared because of the process of this has moved.
Yeah, I think Monica is understandably bothered. She might not know exactly what he's saying and why it's bothering, but the thing that he's communicating in general in a very obscure way is that he's not sure that he wants to marry her, and either she is definitely picking up on that and is walking away just like, we're at a party, I don't want to get into it. Or I could also imagine that she's just picking up on the phrases that he's using, and it's just like, just get me out of here. You're talking about people sucking your dick. Like, what is happening right now? It's embarrassing. Taylor has to observe the way that you communicate. It's gross.
Both so quickly and so suddenly that it's scary. But not once have I questioned how I feel about this woman.
Yeah, it's very confusing. I think what he's trying to say is what I imagine what he was saying at lunch, which is that he doesn't want to move this fast. I think that's all that he's saying, and he has a really convoluted way of saying that, or he feels like he has to explain it. That's probably what it is that he doesn't feel okay with having that point of view, and has yet to talk with people in his family or friends that would say, it's okay if you're not wanting to move as fast as the show wants you to move. Just imagine the kind of subtle brainwashing that would happen to you by being on the show, right? And I think what he's doing is he's trying to he's trying to communicate that while justifying it in this very convoluted, roundabout, upsetting, off-putting way. All right, well, I want to thank the YouTube members who are in the upper tiers of the YouTube membership. We have good old Fernando and good old Andidum and Dramonster and Nils. Thank you so much for being the top tier. And then let's look at the next tier of deserving listeners. We have, and this is organized by how long they've been a member. We have good old Brittany, good old Paola, good old Junie Desiree, who has her own YouTube channel. You can check it out. We have Brian and Eliza's Audi, and Aiken and Alicia and Zoe and Aditi and Colette. Oh, good old Colette and Penelope and Hedda. Thank you so much for Hedda Lettuce. Thank you so much for becoming a member and being an upper tier member and being an upper tier member for such a long time. It really is wonderful. It warms the heart, truly. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.